Hello all and welcome to another Kevin Entertainment video. It's Art here with the book review for The Children's Blizzard by Melanie Benjamin. It was the June 2026 book club book pick. It is a historical fiction novel based on a true factual event that happened in upper Nebraska and North Dakota in I believe 1918, where in a unseasonably warm January day, a blizzard happens and the temperatures turn cold. This is all historical record and not spoiling anything. The blizzard happens, the weather turns cold, and roughly around 250 people, likely more, were killed by the blizzard, mostly children. That's why it's called the Children's Blizzard. There isn't enough data on it to write a whole historical book. That's why Melanie Benjamin wrote a historical fiction novel. Only the two sister characters are based on actual humans that both participated and survived the event. Every other character was made up and fiction, thus the historical fiction. And made up, albeit with some thought and some foresight. Sorry, I had to raise up thought and foresight, but at times very one-dimensionally. Like, she puts in a white male figure that, because of the time it's written in, it was written in 2023, white male figure bad, white male figure evil, because that's the way it had to be. And that gets a point docked for me, because I'm tired of seeing that trope in all forms of entertainment. Video games, movie, TV, books, in all forms of entertainment. That's a terrible trope to have happen. I'm not quite so sure Melanie Benjamin knows how to write. Yes, she's written other books before, but I'm not quite so sure she knows how to write, because there were several times in the book where she went on and on and on and repeated herself over and over and over, which is a mark of a bad writer trying to either fill for the word count, or doesn't have a good enough editor to realize that that's already been stated several times through the book. I wanted to like this story, I really did, and some of the story is gripping, some of the story is monotonous, some of the story is, you can tell what's based on the little bit of facts that are known about the Children's Blizzard, and what is farcically made up. And that to me is a mark of a bad writer. I don't think I'll be reading anything by Melanie Benjamin again. It was a slog to get through. I said this in the book club meeting. It was a slog to get through. It was a very tedious. It made me frustrated with the book, because it was like I started to tune the book out even as I was reading it and or listening to it, because I did both. I have it on my Kindle and I have it in Audible, and when I was trying to read it and listen to it, it was just not good. It was not good. It was not it just became drivel in the background. And a book should never be drivel in the background. It should never be, a book that's good would never be and could never be drivel in the background. There are points in the story that it's like, yes, it's finally moving. It's finally going somewhere and doing something that you want to see grow. But you don't get any connection really with the characters. you don't really... I really didn't have a dog in the fight. It was more like I was trying to go at it from reading it from a historical perspective, be that as it may. For me, it is a Reddit. Borrow it from your library if you want to read it. Don't buy it on my scale. It is a 3 out of 5 on the GoodReads scale. It's not entirely terrible. It's just, it is a slog to get through. It is about average in every sense of the word. It should be better than it was. It could have been better than it was had it been based more on the historical event and not Melanie Benjamin taking artistic license with the story, which I think she does far too many times, and it takes the reader out of it because, yes, it's historical fiction, but the key word there is, we know it's fiction, you're going to make up some things because we don't have everything. That's understandable, but the key there is historical, and to try to stay as close to the fact, as close to what happened as you can, so that when you blend fact and fiction, it blurs the line and you're like, ooh, she made that up. I didn't know she made that up. I thought that was real, kind of a thing. Instead, it's kind of like James Cameron's Titanic. Jack and Kate never fell in love. And that was made up for the movie because they needed a through line. There were a lot of through lines in this book that Melanie Benjamin, I guess, felt she needed, but made it seem as though... what's the word I'm looking for? Made it seem as though she was stretching the truth of the historical event, I guess is the best way to put it. So like I said, 3 out of 5 on the GoodReads scale. It's a read it, borrowed from your library if you want to read it on my scale. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read anything by Melanie Benjamin, if you've read The Children of Blizzard, and what you thought of the book. Try to keep it as spoiler free as possible. If you want to see me do a deep dive of the book, we certainly can. I would be down for that. But until next time, you know I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, 12:30 p.m. Central, 10:30 a.m. Pacific, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Please like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. Please ding the notification bell to be notified when I upload a video. And without further ado, happy reading. I'll see you again soon. And peace.